So this section is just talking about the PHP arrays and string. An array is a better structure that stores one or more similar type of value in a single value. For example, if you want to store 100 numbers, then instead of defining 100 variables, it is easy to define an array of 100 lengths. What we are trying to talk about is, normally on PHP, when you want to store 100 numbers, the most used the ways in which you can use to store it is by saying $a equals to, you store 1, $b equals to $c. Then that means you are going to create 100 variables to store those 100 numbers. So this is just a waste of time. Why can't you store everything inside an array instead of it to be declaring one variable per, as in one value per one variable? Is a waste of time. So that means you have to get to z, then you can start with az, ab, ac, ad, all these things again. So what we are trying to say is this: when you want to store 100 numbers or 100 digits, you can save them using 100 variables. You can save them using 100 variables. This is just two variables, a and b is just two variables. So that means you can save them using 100 variables. So before you get to that 100 variables, you will have wasted a lot of time. So that's why PHP array is okay, because in a single variable you can store 100 numbers. So instead of to be declaring those variables one by one by wasting your time, then you can just use arrays to store those 100 numbers. So let's see, there are three different kinds of an array, and each array value is accessing using an ID. So we have the numeric array, we have the associable array, and multi-dimensional array. So you see what's this. So let's start with the numeric arrays. So let's start with the numeric arrays. I have a variable, I name it number, and I store 5 arrays inside it. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. Let me have another array. Let me call it fruit array. So let me save, to store something, I will just write array. So array. So this time around, I want to store on this array now fruits. I want to save different kind of fruits inside it. Mango, orange. So because mango, orange, purple, they are all related. So why would I now be creating variables to save them one by one? It's a waste of time. So I can just call a variable, I can call the name of the variable fruit, and I can store all these arrays inside it. So if I want to call any of these out now, all I just need to do is I can ask it to echo $fruits. But this time around, there are a lot of elements inside $fruits. There are a lot of elements. So to call the first element out, I'm going to use, look at this symbol, I'm going to use 0. Because I've told you, when we are defining array, I told you that each array value is accessed using using an ID. So each of these things, the first thing that start an array starts with 0. The second thing is starts with 1. So increasing like that, 2, purple will be 2, ID 2. So whatever start an array. So if I start another, if I write change another, or if I write something else entirely here again, if I write, let me say I write what other, let me say I write lemon. If I put lemon here, so this lemon has turned to what? ID 0. Mango has turned to ID 1. So it's keeping like that, ID 2, ID 3. So if I want to call lemon out, then I'm going to put a 0, because I told you that lemon has an ID of what? Of a 0. So if I say echo fruit 0 now, so let's see what let's save this and refresh our page and see their outputs. Can you see lemon? Can you see? You saw lemon. So what we are trying to say in essence is that each of whatever value that is inside an array has a unique ID. So the ID is not you are not the one that is creating the ID. Automatically, as the system is reading the value of our array, the first value is source, it will assign it to 0. The next value it will assign it to 1. The next value it will assign it to 2. So like that to be assigning them, to be changing them based on an integer values. So if you call on the variable that you used to store the array, so whatever values that you are inputting here, so if I input 2 here now, which element has an ID 2, you will discover that it is orange. So under fruits, ID 2 is orange. So if I echo this thing out now, what will I have? I'm going to have orange. So this is how you can call values that is present in an orange. This is how you can call a value that is present in an array. So this is the way in which you can call the values present in an array. So just have something at the back of your mind. When you are creating an array, instead of you to be creating a variable to represent, like how many value do you have now? You have lemon, mango, orange, purple. If you want to create something that will store this variable, we are going to create 4 variables to hold this 4 value. So it's a waste of time, and it's a waste of time by creating different variables to hold different values. So it's possible to just create a single variable, we call it fruits, then we are going to assign it to what? Array. So array, all the value of those things will now be inside array. So we can have 1 million value inside this array. 1 million value inside this array. So if you want to retrieve each of these value, then you now retrieve them by their ID. So if I say 4 here now, but note this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is empty. So by the time you run this code now, you don't see anything as an output because the value inside 4 is empty. But if I change this to 3, we have purple. So the same thing happens to these numbers. The array's number. So when you want to declare an array, just know the variable name, var name, you will say is equals to array, then open a bracket, semicolon will end, open a bracket, then if the arrays will be list of integers, then you write the integers directly separated by comma. So array also can have integer and also can have a string. So if the array will also contain string, but whenever you want to write a string, don't just write the string. Don't just write the string directly. You can't write it directly. The PHP, there will be an error in the PHP. It will not run. So every time you want to write a string, make sure you put it inside the quotes. A string must be inside the quote. It's only an integer value that can be written ordinarily. So right now, if I want to call var name now, maybe I want to call a particular inside var name. If I want to call a particular value inside var name, so let's say I want to call this I want. So what's the ID of I want? Is 0, 1, 2. The ID is 2. So 2. So let me save this. I want. Can you see? So that's to tell you that you can mix an integer. You can mix it with what? With a string inside an array. So an array is good to hold a lot of data. It's good to hold a lot of data so that you will not be declaring variables for each of these data. Because in case you have like 1 million data you want to hold now, you will not be declaring 1 million variables. It's a waste of time. So you just put everything inside an array and you'll be calling them using their index or their ID key. 0, but just know the first one starts with 0 to infinity. So that's just about array. So let's just see what this program, let's see what it does. This time around they make use of the for each to call the value that is inside an array. So let's see how this program, let's see how it works. Let's see how it works. Value is 1, value is 2, value is 3, value is 4, value is 5, value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how did that work? Look at how it is working now. This is a number equals to array 1 to, this is an array 1 to 5. Now say for each dollar number as dollar value, that is say each of this thing that is inside this thing now each of these things is all referred to as value. That's why they say dollar value inside dollar number. So whenever you say dollar value now, when you use for each now, you are trying to say each of these elements inside this array. You are trying to call out each of these elements. When you use this statement, dollar numbers will have to be the name of the variable you use to hold that array. As dollar value, you can use anything here, but we use dollar value. So whenever you want to echo, you echo dollar value. So this time it's not going to echo. Let me echo ordinary dollar value. So this time around it's going to echo all the elements, even if you have 1 million elements. So this one is just applicable. This one is just applicable. Now, this one is just applicable if you want to echo all the elements you can use for each like this. It's applicable if you want to echo all the elements in an array. Because remember the previous example I gave you, the way I teach you how to echo is that how to call on an array is to say echo. You say echo dollar numbers and you should use the ID or the index key to echo. If you say 0 now, what is it going to print? It's going to print out 1 because 1 has an ID of 0. So this method is just used to print out each of the value inside an array, provided you know their index key. So if I want to print out 4 now, 4 will be 0, 1, 2, 3. It will have an ID of 3. So it's going to bring out 4. So this method is just to print one data at a time. But in case you want to print the whole element inside an array, all you need to do is just to use a for each statement like this one now. So this is it's not going to be asking for the ID key one by one. It's a waste of time. So this is just going to print out everything in an array. It's going to print out everything in that array. So even if it's up to 9, if it's up to 10, it's going to print out everything. So right now we said for the numbers is as each value. So we now have to echo the value. So it will start from 1 to it will now be echoing them. So even if I have a string here now, let me call it a string input. So let me save this now. So as you see, echo the string input also. If you echo it out, because can use a string inputs. So to echo everything out. 7, 8 is not there. That's why you cannot see 8. From 7 it jump to 9 in the array. Can you see? So to print out the element. So you make use of for each, for you to print out all the values inside an array. All the values inside an array. Everything you have stored inside an array. You can, when you use for each, it will bring everything out. But in case you just want to bring a single data in an array, and that's when you can now use that echo dollar. You make use of numbers and the what? You make use of number and the what? And the index key. Maybe 0, 1, 2 like that. You make use of the index key. So if I want to bring out string inputs now, we use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The index key is 9. So I'll just substitute this one with 9. So it's going to print out string inputs. But if I want to print out everything, every data inside this array now, all I just need to do is to use my for each like this. Then I'll ask you to echo the dollar value. So all this value that is inside it. But if you are using another thing, assuming you are using another thing to hold this data now, maybe you call it none, no, then note, you just change this to no. You just change it to no. This can still be dollar value. So if you still echo this thing, it's still going to give you the same. It's still going to give you the same results. So that's just what we have there. So another thing, another way of creating an array, if you don't want to create it in this format, is to use this format. You just say dollar. That is, you are trying to say that at the index 0, you want to put 1 there. At the index 1, this thing now I can write it in this form method. What you have here, up to here, I can write it in this way. I can write it here like this: 1, 2, so like this, up to 5, 3, 4, 5. What you're going to say is that at the index 0 you have 1. It's correct. This is first, is in the index 0 we have 1. At the second one Index 1 you have 2, at index 2 you have 3, index 3 you have 4, and index 4 you have 5. So that is what it's just trying to tell you. So this is a second method in which you can create a variable, as in you can create an array. So if you don't want to use this method, you can use or as well use this method to create an array. But note, this is just like you are defining a variable, because if instead of me to be wasting my time to be doing it, to be declaring an array like this, I can either say number $1 equals to 1 number 2 equals to, I can use this. So instead of me to be wasting my time doing it like this, I can use that method also. So, but you know, the reason we don't want to use variables to declare all these things that we have here is because we believe that variable will waste time, because you have to declare, if you are like that, we have 5 values to store. So that is why we have to declare 5 variables to store them. And like when you declare array like this now, it looks almost like you are declaring a variable. That's the way it looks. Since you want to store 5 value now, you have 5 different ways of storing it using this method, this array method. So it's still the same thing. Like, why can't you now just store them inside a variable, 5 different variables? It's the same way. It's still the same way. The only thing you just have to change is you don't have to use all this and change this one to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's still the same way. So that's the best way to use an array is to use this method. This is the best way, because this one is very, very fast. You don't have to keep on declaring the numbers every time. Just write $1 equals to array, put every value of the array, put it inside this place, and you call them. You can call them one by one by using the index key, or you use this for each method to call them. So, but this is another method in which you can store an array. Also, this is another method in which you can store an array. But this method now is just like it will take you the same time that you are going to do when you are creating a variable. So this method is not okay, because it's also slow, just like when you want to create a variable. Okay, what if you have like 1 million data you want to store? Are we trying to be creating all these things one by one, just like normal variable now? So it's better for you to be using this method to store. So the same thing we did up here, the same thing we did here, we are using for each to call them. It's still the same thing that we did here. So but this time around, the value that is inside the array numbers, we have tried to overwrite it to this value, and we use for each to still call them out. So it's still the same way. So that's just it. So for the piece of theory, please just go through the layer. So this is just another thing, is the associative array. What we have is the associative array. So let's see how this works. The associative array. Look at it now. We said we declare the array salary, we declare the variable salary, we hold the array, but this time around is an associative array. This is what we call, this is the symbol for associative array. This time around we are not storing, normally in the normal way, whenever you want to store in an array, you just say array, you say array, then you put the brackets end to this, then the first value will be here, comma, the second value. But this time around, this thing is having value. What you have here is having value. This is the value, but it now has this symbol and it has this number. So this is what we refer to as the associative array. So if we want to refer to Mohammed now, salary of Mohammed is, we are going to print the salary, then we are going to put it in bracket what? Mohammed. So this time around, we don't want to be using index key to print out our value. Normally this is the value, this is what they need. 2000, 1500 is what they need. But normally, in normal way, as we don't have all this Mohammed called the salary, we'll have been using 0, 1, 2, 0 to print out 2000, 1 to print out 1500, 3 to print out 500. But this time I want to be using their the name that we use, the associative name that we use to save this particular integer. I want to be using it to call it out. So that is why we are trying to save all these things as an index key, so as an ID. So Mohammed is an ID to bring out this 2000 now. Quadri is an ID to bring out 1000, and Zara is an ID to bring out 500. So if you say $salary Mohammed now, then we are trying to talk about this 2000. If you say $Quadri salary Quadri now, we are trying to bring out this 1000. The same thing happens to this. So let's see what we have. This break line is just to make sure that those things, by the time the output comes, is in different lines. That's the meaning of break lines. So let's refresh our web page. There is an error. There is an error. Why is it not showing? Okay, this is the problem. It's not inside the. Okay, this is the problem. Okay, I was the one that caused the problem. Sorry. So let me copy it down. That's where the mistake, the error is. So let's save this. So look at it. Salary Mohammed is 2000, salary Quadri is 1000, salary Zara is 500. So that's just, so instead of yours to be using 0, 1, 2 to call out the values, then we are going to use their associative to call it out, the associative ID to call it out by using Mohammed, Zara, Kada, and Zara. So the same thing like the previous example that we did. They try to create another array. They store these values inside and they call it out here. So that means they are overwriting the values that is inside the space. So that's just the second method of creating an array. So you create an array, you take a variable salary, you store Mohammed, and you keep it with data using like index key. This one is just like an index key. So normally, if you didn't use this index key, that will just use 2000, 1000, 500. Automatically, the index key will be 0, 1, 2. It's going to give it an ID key of 0, 1, 2. But now that we are specifying that we don't want to be using the normal divine IDs 0, 1, 2, 3 like that to infinity, we don't want to be using that. So the name we want to be using is what we now put here. So that's what we refer to as the associative array. So the last one is the multi-dimensional array. So I believe you can try these examples yourself, so you'll be able to understand what it means. So this is just a multi-dimensional array. So let's go to the PHP strings. They are sequence of character like PHP support string operation. So I believe we've already been using this string. We have already been using this string. So for the string, when you have string underscore 1, this is a string in double quotes. String has to be in double quotes. When you have string underscore 2, when you create a variable name and you put it underscore 2, this is somehow longer, single quote string. When you have string underscore 39, this string has 39 characters. When you have string comma 0, a string with 0 character, it does not have any character in it. So look at this example now. Dollar variable, they call it a variable name, they name it name. Dollar literary equals to my dollar variable will not print. So print dollar literary. So all these things is just, let's see what happened. Let's see the results. So I believe I've already explained all these things for you. Let's see the result. I see, my variable will not print, my name will print. My variable will not print, my name will print. See what happened? It said variable name the main variable as name. Later equals to my dollar variable. What is our dollar variable before? Is name. That's why you see my name will not print when they have dollar later to print. Dollar later now is what? My dollar variable. What is dollar variable? Name. That's why you have my name is not print. So let me change this thing to Olaide. Olaide. My Olaide will not print. So you have something like that. Refresh. My Olaide will not print. My Olaide will not print. So that's just what we are trying to talk about. So this one now, my variable, when you want to use a variable inside another variable and you want it to print out, you don't place them inside a single quote. You place them inside what? Inside a double quote. Look at this example now. When you place inside a double quote, inside this something now, you can still call another variable. So literally now, my dollar variable now, dollar variable is what? Is Olaide. So since it's inside this a double quote, it's going to see this dollar variable as dollar variable. So it's going to call for what? Olaide. But the reason you have my dollar variable will not print, that your variable did not print, your dollar variable did not print, is because of this dollar variable that you declare is inside a single quote. And when you have something inside, when you have another variable inside a single quote, the variable will not, the result in that, the value inside that variable is not going to show. So normally this thing was supposed not to see dollar variable, supposed not to see it as dollar variable. What is it supposed to see? Supposed to see Olaide, because the value of dollar variable is what? Is Olaide. It's supposed to see Olaide. But the reason it's print out this dollar variable like that as a text is because you place inside a single quote. So whenever you want to show, you want a variable to display inside another variable, like dollar variable, now you want it to display inside dollar literary, you have to place it inside what? Double quotes. That's just the meaning. That's just about one thing you have to understand about strings. So look at this one now, string 1, hello world, string 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, equal string 1. I have told you when we talk about the concatenation in string in PHP, I've already explained to you. Let's try this example now. Look at the string 1 equals to hello world, string 2 equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. So whenever you want to join two strings together, you are going to use concatenation. I've told you in JavaScript, whenever you want to concatenate two things together, two strings, you want to bring them together, you are going to use plus sign. But this time around in PHP, concatenation symbol, to concatenate two things together, you are going to use dots. This is the code to concatenate two things. So let's save this and see our result. We should see something like hello world 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's just about concatenation. You will see hello world 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see? Hello world 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means you have concatenated the two strings together. So that means the joining together of two strings is what referred to as concatenation. You can't just say the last string 2. This thing is going to see it as an error because it will see all these things as a variable name, and there is no variable name that is named with this name. So this is just, it's going to bring an error. You can't say echo the last string 1, the last string 2 it will be an error. So but to bring them together, you have to concatenate them. So this is just concatenation. So when you want to use two variables together at the same time, then you concatenate them. So that means you are trying to join them together in order for you to output them. So you can't use this way, because this time around you join them together now, but the syntax is not okay. The program is not going to run, because whenever two variables you want to print it as an output, then you are going to concatenate them. Another way to do this is to say $string 1, then you ask it to echo $string 2 again. This is another way. So it's still going to give you the same result. So but in case you want to use them together, you want to use the two together, by the time I refresh this page now, I will still have the same result. Can you see? I still have the same thing. But in case I want to do them together, I don't want to start writing echo 2 times. It's a waste of time. So instead of that, we just concatenate it. So that's just the meaning of concatenation. So the strlen function is used to find the length of a string in PHP. When you use strlen in PHP, it means to find the string length in PHP. Let's see how this works. Normally hello world has how many lengths? Let's see how it works. Hello world and this symbol, let's see how this works. It's 12. What do you mean by 12? You see what we mean by 12 now. H 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. With this space, anything that is inside this, with this space, everything is going to count them. So the length is now going to show the length of all this string. So if I input something, if I add something now, and I want to know the length of all these things that I have typed, so I will just use the function string length. Just like the date, string length is also a function, it's an inbuilt function. You don't have to declare it. The program already know that you are trying to look for the length of this thing. So if you use date, the program already know that you are trying to talk about the date, the today's dates. So if you use string length, the program will know that you want to know the length of this string. So let's see the length of this string that I wrote now. The length is 92. So if you count it one by one, you discover that the length of the string is what? Is 92. So that's just about another thing that you have to know. So another thing is just the string pause. It's used to search for a string or character within a string. If a match is found in the string, this function will return the position of the first match. If no match is found, it will return false. Let's see what they mean. Just this string pose, it means string position. It's used to find the position of string in the word. Look at it now. Normally, this is the string that we have.